Now, ABC 7 News at 5 on your side.
Hello everyone, Leon Harris here reporting to you from North Avenue in Baltimore, West North Avenue, just a block away from that CVS at Pennsylvania. That was the flashpoint for all of that yesterday's activity. The scene here, as you can see, the crowd has dissipated some. We believe they may have joined the protesters that have left this area and have circled about a 5-block area out here with spontaneous marches. We just saw one that just passed through this area here. Now, the thing is, these troops that you see standing behind us here are Baltimore City Police, who have been joined here by Prince George's County Sheriffs, who are in their special tactical units here. And of course, as you know, the National Guard has also been called here to the streets of Baltimore after last night, a night of rioting that ended with 15 fires, 144 vehicle fires, almost 200 arrests. At least 20 police officers have been injured. We expect to get an update on the number of officers who are still in the hospital at this point or have been injured. The police have been holding hourly press conferences, and we expect they'll have one any minute now. And once that does get underway, we'll take you there live. We also expect to have Baltimore's mayor there as well. So we'll get you updated with what information they have for us. Now, today, city leaders are calling for peace, and the residents are calling for help with the cleanup that is well underway here. We've got team coverage of the city in crisis here with Maryland Bureau Chief Brad Bell. Kevin Lewis is also here with us, as is Horace Holmes. Let's get things started this hour with Brad Bell. Brad?
Tuesday dawns to a different mood in Baltimore. At North and Pennsylvania Avenues, a huge crowd gathers in front of a looted drugstore to preach peace, even as stern-faced police in riot gear watch.
If we want justice to be served, we have to unite. Violence is not the answer for justice.
A church group even brings water and pizza for the neighborhood.
Because we love our city and we really want to maintain peace.
Across West Baltimore, hundreds, if not thousands, of volunteers fan out in a massive neighborhood cleanup. But tension and violence simmer just below the surface. Watch what happens when one man in the gathering draws the ire of police. He is grabbed and wrestled to the ground. It is clear police will no longer tolerate the violence and arson which racked the city yesterday and last night.
Criminal activity will not be tolerated.
Governor Hogan speaking today about the state of emergency and the presence of more than 1,000 heavily armed and equipped National Guardsmen in Baltimore.
We're going to bring whatever resources are necessary, whatever assets are necessary.
And so it is peaceful for now, but the tension is not dissipated.
It's really dangerous. It can really get out of hand.
Well, so far it has not gotten out of hand. An extraordinary scene now as we join you live from the intersection of North and Pennsylvania. There are hundreds, perhaps more than 1,000 people all gathered here. They have been here all day long. Every now and then we see tempers flare, but for the most part it has been a peaceful demonstration. We have seen no violence, a peaceful demonstration here as hundreds have gathered in West Baltimore. In West Baltimore, Brad Bell, ABC 7 News. Leon.
All right, Brad, thank you. As you know, the mood here can turn on a dime out here. As a matter of fact, it just did here. It's been tense one moment and almost lighthearted and spirited the next. We're seeing here as all of a sudden a spontaneous electric slide dance routine underway now here in the street right in front of the police that have been staging here to keep people separated from what's been happening over at Pennsylvania Avenue where the CVS has been burned and looted. We'll talk about that in just a second. We made our way inside there. But as you know, Baltimore is the home to the national headquarters of the NAACP. And today the president of that group pledged to do its part to keep this city safe and return it to a sense of normalcy and calm. And today they made a plan to open up a satellite office in the city. Take a listen.
We want to ensure that when our young people interact with the police, they do so in a way that is safe.
Now, according to citydata.com, Baltimore has a population of nearly 623,000 people. 63% of that population is black. 24% of the residents living below the poverty line. But tonight, black, white, rich, poor, everyone seems to be coming together here to try and clean up Charm City, at least try to clean up its reputation from what people have seen around the world from here in the last few hours. Horace Holmes is standing by in one of the stores that was damaged and looted. Horace, what are you seeing there?
Well, let's take a look, because this is one of the stores that was completely burned down, just destroyed last night. And you could see the smoke still smoldering inside. That's how intense the fire was right here last night. And we're here on West Pratt Street. This is a street which is lined with stores about 5 minutes, Leon, from where you are right now. And many of these stores were looted last night. We talked to the owner of this store who owns 2 stores, this one and the one right next door. He says he doesn't know what he's going to do at this point. He doesn't know whether he can rebuild. Let's move across the street, if we can, to the J-Mart Wig store, which is a very, very important store in this neighborhood. Brian, if you could hurry on across. The people who own this store had been in this country for 32 years. They've owned this business for 17. This is what's happened to them. This happened last night. We talked with them also, and we'll be hearing from them tonight at 6 o'clock. They really do not know what to do. Their whole life was in this business, and now it's destroyed. Talking to the people in this neighborhood, they just can't believe it. They don't understand why people would destroy important businesses in their own community. Now the entire community doesn't know what to do. There are food marts here, there are furniture stores here, there are check cashing stores here, and now many of them looted, many of them gone, and many of the business owners not knowing whether they're going to actually be able to rebuild. Reporting live in Baltimore, Horace Holmes, ABC 7 News.
All right, thank you, Horace. Now, that scene you had there was actually a very strong one, but perhaps the strongest image from last night was not a business, but it was that senior center attached to the Southern Baptist Church just east of us here that burned to the ground last night. And in the light of the day, you can see that facility now. It was just a matter of months away from opening, but now it is a complete and total loss. It was supposed to become home for some 60 units of affordable housing for senior citizens. Federal officials now are investigating that fire. They all believe, they're telling us here, that they think it was arson. They just now need the proof to the information, the details now to prove that. But the day President Obama spoke up about what happened here in Baltimore last night, he condemned the violence, saying that there is no excuse for it, no matter how much pain people are suffering or how badly they want to be heard. Chris Papps now picks up our live coverage now from the newsroom with more on that. Chris?
Well, Leon, President Obama called the agitators thugs who should be treated as criminals after last night's violence that saw nearly 200 arrests and 160 fires set. Now, the president spoke today from the White House during a press conference with the Japanese Prime Minister. Mr. Obama said while the rioters were out of line, he said there have been too many troubling police interactions with black citizens, something he's called a slow roll. He said this is not new, but there is new awareness from cameras and social media. The riots did start after the funeral for Freddie Gray, a black man who died in police custody under peculiar circumstances.
When individuals get crowbars and start prying open doors to loot, they're not protesting. They're not making a statement. They're stealing.
The president continued by saying this is simply a handful of people taking advantage of a situation for their own purposes. In the newsroom, Chris Papps, ABC 7 News.
All right, thank you, Chris. As we've been saying here, the emotions here have been turning on a dime, it seems. We're still finding ourselves now stuck in the middle of a Zumba class here on the Northwest Avenue of all places here. And this performance here is happening right in front of these police officers who have been staged here and standing at attention with their full riot gear on for hours now. Again, the question for many here is, why are they here? Because just behind them, maybe 120 yards away behind them, were thousands upon thousands of people who were on the other side in front of that CVS and that check cashing store that we watched being looted yesterday. And the demonstrators over there were actually getting a lot more active and then began starting off with some spontaneous marches. And we saw one of them traverse an area around here that covered about some 5 blocks or so. We actually went inside that CVS, which was a bit striking to me because, number one, the place is a crime scene still. I can't believe that there's no security or anyone there to keep you from going inside. So Becca McDevitt, our producer here, went inside with me, and we looked, and sure enough, there are people in there, some of them wearing what looks like, suits and ties, who are actually mopping the floors and cleaning things up. That place looks, though, like it should just be taken down to the ground, but folks are inside doing their best to try to clean things up. So you can tell here, just by seeing what people are doing and hearing what they're saying, they have no intent of giving up on their city of Baltimore. We we will keep you covered here with more of what we see and hear here. We're also keeping our eyes and ears peeled for that press conference with police. And once that gets underway, we will have that for you live right here. But for now, Kelly and Allison, back to you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Leon. Definitely a very different scene than this time yesterday.